Action!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again for another ACX audition extravaganza. This time, I'm shocked to find that the entire auditions on the webpage for Amazon ACX can all be fit into one single tab layout here. I've opened up every single audition for a male voice, except for a few that are just repeats for the last few years, like how to invest in the stock market. That just pops up on repeat, so you don't even open those up. It's a real phony when it's stuff like that. So here we have, who knows, maybe there's 30, 50, who knows. Here, not 50. Anyways, the other thing they just did is I went to look to the compensation and check it out. They've actually reduced the number of categories. You still have 400 to 1,000 all the way down to 50 to 100. But the 0 to 50 is completely missing now. They removed it because that used to be the category where you'd have, a supposedly realistic number of things on there, like 500 to 1,000 books. Just cut out because, don't want to have all that cluttering it up. Makes you wonder how real it all is. But anyways, so what I'm going to be doing here today is trying out for all of ACX. Let's say it's a record attempt, okay? In the next hour, I'm going to try to speed through all of these. Here we go. And just to validate what I'm saying, I can go ahead and show you 58 titles matching the search here. It's 50 to 100 per finished hour. Before there'd be, 800 titles in this area. Now it's just nothing, right? Okay. So we'll open up the first one. I think it starts at the higher priced ones. And I guess we're going lower priced on this direction. Royalty share or 50 to 100 per finished hour. Thousand Tales. Learning to fly. A new set of wings. When disaster strikes a cargo flight over the Arctic, pilot Andre decides it's time to upload. He pays to have his brain sliced and scanned so his mind can live in the computerized virtual world of tail space. Wow. Alright, let's try out for it. Because who gives a crap about the rest of that? Open up this. Slap it over there. Get some Audacity action going on. Ooh, they made the word so tiny. Oh no. Let me try to open it with WordPad. Oh, jeez. Whatever. Open with WordPad. There we go. Geez, when people have a default to Notepad, I think their brain has been sliced up and diced, and it's like been put out onto the computer, onto the internet from their brain, because nobody uses that anymore. Notepad. Got to be like stuck in the 80s or something. Zoom in a little bit. Alright, blah blah blah. What do we got here? The now blue Pegasus trotted out of the throne room and back to the castle hallway. A few other horses now waited in line for an audience. He awkwardly raised one of his forehooves to wave to them, then fell over because he'd still been trying to walk. His muzzle hit the carpet. A generic gray pony helped him up. New player? No wonder you're awkward. Just try not to fall off any cliffs. I already did that once. Yeah, I'm new. You must be too. A sly grin crept across the newcomer's muzzle. The way you said that. Are you one of those uploaders? Alright, that's enough of this one. This is trash. Oops, I did it too quiet. I'll have to boost the hell out of the audio. I'm not used to the new audio drivers. It comes out quieter. Oh, that's because the microphone wasn't plugged in. It's going to be too quiet and distant then. The now blue Pegasus trotted out of the throne room and back to the castle hallway. A few other horses now waited in line for an audience. He awkwardly raised one of his forehooves to wave to them. You know what? Who gives a shit? Because it's all trash anyway. So I'm just going to plug this in and just go with the audition the way it is on this one. Who cares? It's just My Little Bronies anyways. Alright, we'll amplify it. And if you may have noticed, I don't really need to edit anything, so I'll just leave it like that. The now blue Pegasus trotted out of the... sounds kind of good, actually. Sort of ambient in a way. So, that's good. We'll go ahead and export it to my special spot. ACX tryouts. Open. Jeez. Okay. What's the name of this one? 1,000 Tales. 1,000 Tales. Okay. Save it up. And upload it up. Alright, we'll type something inspirational. Here real quick. Great story, brah. It made my little pony heart quiver deliciously. I'm your narrator because I have such great passion for ponies. Alright, there we go. We're submitting it up. Alright, I guess I don't need the video on anymore. It takes up too much space, so now it's just gonna be audio, boys. Audio. Busting bad guys.
Busting Russians. Busty Russians.
Busting bushy Russians. Busting busty Russians. Busting. Okay, enough of that. 26-year career from youngest rookie in 1978 to narcotics sergeant on the Omaha police force. Oh boy. Okay, let's take a look at the audition. This is probably really lame. Ooh, this is gonna be the spicy stuff. Oh yeah. Steve took me into a dark corner of his business. Sitting at a desk was a guy in his 30s, about 5'9", 170 pounds, with bushy hair and a thick beard and mustache. He wore brown rimmed glasses, a blue flannel long-sleeve shirt, blue jeans, and black work boots. This guy looked like a hippie from the 60s, who never quite rolled with the times. He barely looked up when I approached the desk. I wasn't sure if I should introduce myself or even shake his hand. The guy was saying nothing as I walked up to him, so I just decided to wait and see what happened. He was weighing out various amounts of cocaine on an electric gram scale, and then using a razor blade to package small amounts of cocaine into small handmade wrappers, known as paper snow seals. It was a learned art to cut and fold a paper snow shield. It was a learned art to cut and fold a paper snow seal to prevent the cocaine from leaking. This was a technique I perfected in my undercover career when I actually helped some dealers package their own cocaine. Wow. It's the inside scoop, guys.
Wow, he totally wasn't just packaging cocaine.
Totally not. He wasn't the criminal and then joined the police later. No, couldn't be. That would be outrageous.
Difference in that they're both hoodlums who disrespect the peace and quiet.
Alright, let's see, I made a few mistakes, so I'll go through it real quick. Bushy hair and a thick beard and mustache. He wore There's the first one. And the next one was up here a little ways. I wasn't sure if I should introduce myself or even shake his hand. The guy was saying nothing as I walked up to him, so I just decided to wait and see what happened. He was weighing out various amounts of cocaine on an electric gram scale, and then using a razor blade to package small amounts of cocaine into small handmade wrappers, known as paper snow seals. It was a learned art to cut and fold a paper snow shield. It was a learned art. Yeah, there was the snow shield instead of seal, whatever. Snow seal to prevent the cocaine from leaking. This was a technique I perfected in my undercover career when I actually helped some dealers package their own cocaine. Alright. Export this. And the name is Busting Bad Guys. Oh, I'm sure. Tasty.
Yeah. Always can I have some cocaine? And I'm, I'm just like, yeah, fuck you. Everybody's all like, yeah, give me that white sugar. Give me that bullshit cocaine.
Yep.
Bad for you. It kills you, man.
You keep busting all over the nation, big boy. There's my, alright. Busting bad guys. Slap it in there. Okay, apparently this headphones were interacting with the focus right just because the cord was resting in the wrong spot. Jeez. It's a lot of audio. A lot of electricity going through there. What the hell? Jeez. Still doing it. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll unplug it. It's got an error on me. Alright, moving on. Submit application. Next we have Operation Blackout. There is a hidden threat in the world. Humans with extraordinary abilities and little control over them. But every government strives to keep this danger a secret and assure the public the world functions exactly how they've always believed. Top Bureau of Specialist Interests, BSI agent Morgan Connor, is tasked with tracking down and recovering these others. Actively opposing the BSI is a group of renegades. Wow, okay. Connor has a very light Welsh accent, and Jack has a British accent, posh, blah blah blah. As his other persona, he'll be cockneyed, but not represented. Alright, audition, download audition script, open up that badass audition script, get to work. As you can see, we've set up quite the feast. Jack continued in his gentlemanly manner, this time addressing Orion directly, and Connor took the opportunity to steal a look at his partner. Nothing about Orion's manner implied he recognized the stranger, but he couldn't miss the family resemblance, and the younger man's brow was beaded with sweat, despite holding his ground. Your sister gave us an idea of what you might like. The quality of Jack's smile transformed from hospitable to benevolent. I'm not as savage as my reputation suggests, he asserted, prompting Connor to question the man's identity. It was clear from the kidnapping and warehouse arrangements that the man was a professional criminal, but he would have recognized his face if he'd been on the evening news. In your case, I believe a final meal is appropriate. Connor turned to his partner in disbelief. You knew it was a trap? He deduced, and suddenly his reluctance to formulate an appropriate plan made sense. Wow. This jargon. Enough of this one. I guess I made a few mistakes, so I'll have to fix those. Wherever the hell they are. As you can see, we've set up quite the feast. Ooh, what's some bad audio sound? I'll have to jeez. Don't lag on me, Audacity. As you can see, we've set up quite the feast. Jack continued in his gentlemanly manner, this time addressing Orion directly, and Connor took the opportunity to steal a look at his partner. Nothing about Orion's manner implied he recognized the stranger, but he couldn't miss the family resemblance, and the younger man's brow was beaded with sweat, despite holding his ground. Your sister gave us an idea of what you might like. The quality of Jack's smile transformed from hospitable to benevolent. I'm not as savage as my reputation suggests, he asserted, prompting Connor to question the man's identity. It was clear from the kidnapping and warehouse arrangements that the man was a professional criminal, but he would have recognized his face if he'd been on the evening news. Alright. In your case, I believe a final meal is appropriate. Connor turned to his partner in disbelief. You knew it was a trap? He deduced, and suddenly, his reluctance to formulate an appropriate plan made sense. Okay, whatever, good enough. We'll export it. I guess I could have let you do this one. Oh well, too late. Okay. Real intense. The crime has me fixated upon the seedy remains of society. Yes. Operation Blackout. Now, what do we have next? We've got Saving Trerio, however you say that. First, we'll submit this one after it finishes uploading. Bam. Alright, next. Saving Trerios is the first book in the Rob Madden series. Retired Air Force Sergeant Robert Madden thought the war was behind him, but as he enters Trerios, New Mexico, a new war was just beginning. You want to do this one?
I don't know. Sure, why not?
Yeah, you can do this one.
Alright, let's see here. Now that I've made disgusting noises, now I should destroy. Guess I'll record.
Yep.
Oh, let me. Eyeing the dining room, he found it interesting that one section was devoted to everyday tourists like himself, while the other section was designated for the casino regulars
A different, secluded section was reserved for the high rollers and VIP guests of the casino. Madden was having fun watching the stream of interesting people coming and going. The people in the reserved section got him wondering for a second about who they were and what was considered high rolling in this small town. Madden sat back with his cold beer, enjoying the buffet and thinking, life is good now.
That'll do it. Yeah, with this microphone, the noise pops up randomly.
It's because the cord is loose.
Yeah. Alright, I'll edit it for you, sure.
Yeah.
Eyeing the dining room, while the other section was designated for the casino
Alright.
himself. While the other section was designated for the casino regulars, a different, secluded section was reserved for the high rollers and VIP guests of the casino. Madden was having fun watching the stream of interesting people coming and going. The people in the reserved section got him wondering for a second about who they were and what was considered high rolling in this small town. Madden sat back with his cold beer, enjoying the buffet and thinking, life is good now.
Yeah, nice. Alright. I'll export it. Life is good now. Life is good now.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Saving tres rios. Oh, I got to save those eyes as soon as I see the beautiful eyes. Man, I'd battle my way through a whole country for those eyes. That's all I need. Don't even show me those titties. I just need eyes. Saving tres rios. Alright. And then my message is, I'd do anything for those eyes. Oh yeah. You know it. But do they? Too late. They'll never know. Moving on. Elderly Parent Caregiver Guide. Oh yeah. It's gonna be exciting. You see, this is the type of stuff that is just bogus every time, but sure, why not? Let me do a cheesy voice real quick. You ought to be thorough and do everything at once on the website, after all. Oh, this isn't even part of it? Okay, I guess it's just how the book starts, whatever. Elderly Parent Caregiver 101 is the ultimate guide for adult children who are or will become their parents' caregivers, filled with valuable information and ideas. This book offers hope, support, and plenty of practical advice for anyone caring for their elderly parents. Each chapter describes a different area of caregiving, including becoming a caregiver, medical providers, facility care, caregiver support, financial concerns, medical devices, special circumstances, end of life. As the author guides you through the maze of caregiving, she shares her knowledge as a nurse and examples from her own journey of caregiving. Blah, blah, blah. Enough of that. We did it. Action. Alright, I'll remove the sludginess and budginess. See how it sounds. Elderly Parent Caregiver 101 is the ultimate guide for adult children who are or will become their parents' caregivers, filled with valuable information. This book offers hope, support, and plenty of practical advice for anyone caring for their elderly parent. Oh yeah, totally. Caregiving, including becoming a caregiver, medical providers, facility care, caregiver support. Yeah, we get the idea. All right, I'll just export it. All right. And I too have needed to care for the elderly while I was perpetually a child in comparison. It really speaks to me, and I think I could help speak your insights to the world. Oh yeah, damn. I'm really playing this one up because it's extra stupid. Elderly Parent Caregiver Guide. Boy, we're slowly making progress here, but it looks like we have a long ways to go, so we'll just keep doing it. Birth of the Sand Viper, Origins of Jafars, Dark Immortal Flame Series, Book 0. This is good. Oh, I like this one. It says accent American. Yeah, right. I don't think they even bothered putting what accent it was supposed to be. It's gotta be Persian. My favorite. Oh, I like this. First chapter instead of chapter 1. Yes, it's very spicy already. First chapter. Bashir and Shekinah. Bashir stood on his balcony, overlooking his kingdom in the twilight hour. The warm breeze carried the soul of the desert, as small traces of sand tickled his olive skin. His people below were busy closing up shops, as the lack of sunlight made it harder to watch for thieves using the cover of night to rob the poor shopkeepers blind. As Sultan, he wished he had a way to provide his people with more wealth so they never knew hunger again. If I were a good man, every man, woman, and child would live a life of luxury, he thought. The familiar arms of the Sultana wrapped around him. He didn't know she was watching, but he welcomed the company. My king, you are a great man, and your dream of a thriving kingdom is obtainable. Shekinah whispered in his ear before kissing his nape. She always seemed to know what he was thinking, but he never gave it a second thought. My beautiful queen, there is none wiser in the entire kingdom than you, but I do not see how it is possible to fulfill my heart's desire. Wow, this is romantic. I better stop before I get all too involved. Okay. Split it. I'd say that was a flawless victory. Reduce the noise. Cut it to size. Alright. Just gonna upload it just like that. Birth of the Sand Viper. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna add that into the beginning. It'll totally make me get the part, guys. Trust me. Birth of the Sand Viper. What? Why didn't it show up? Birth of the Sand Viper. Oh, it's only doing it on the other one. Okay. Alright, whatever. Birth of the Sand Viper. Birth of the Sand Viper. Oh yeah. Totally, guys. This is a keeper. It's actually terrible, but who cares? Paste. Alright, now I'll export it. Sorry, boys. It was just too hot. Alright, what should I say? I can do any intensity of desert accent you prefer. I've got desert in my throat. Yes. Ready for the listener's gritty pleasure. Oh, yeah. I've got dessert in my throat or desert? Oops, 2 S's. What's the difference? Birth of the Sand Viper. Let's see what we got next. We have The Key to Triumphant Living, an adventure in personal discovery. Oh yeah, totally. Submitted, and next. The Key to Triumphant Living, written nearly 4 decades ago. The story of this book has never been more relevant. The key to triumphant living is the personal testimony of a man, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but the, layout of the script on the title makes me think that it's supposed to be done in some sort of more swirly voice. Let's see what we can do here. Because it's, we really got to put extra effort into this one. Wow, so many introductions. Preface. Author's note. Original introduction. Whoa. More quotes. At their wits' end, they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he bringeth them out. Psalm 107, 27, 28. Wits' end. That was my permanent address for a number of years. I wasn't alone, but that didn't help much. My neighbors were intolerable. Next door was jealousy. Across the street, Mr. Competition. And down the way, the Despair family. Old man politics haunted me by promising me much and delivering nothing but worry. I suppose I made an honest effort to move out of the neighborhood, but each effort ended in frustration.
So it seemed that the discreet thing to do was to settle down in a rather quiet but well-rationalized despair and fake it as best as I could. There was one enormous problem. I was paid to tell people at wit's end how to get out. I was a preacher. I was supposed to have all the answers. I didn't even have the right questions. This makes the preacher's job something which should be marked with the warning, "Caution, this may be hazardous to your sanity." Oh yeah. Oh, the preacher's struggle, baby. Oh, to make that ends meet. To keep their feet on the beat.
Jesus, Jesus, sing it from the rooftops now.
Jesus, Jesus, whoa, yeah. Jesus. You know, it's all about the Jay-Z.